The courtroom felt heavy. The air carried tension that pressed on every person inside. The boy stood in front of the judge with his shoulders low and his hands locked together. He looked small. His mother sat behind him with red eyes and fingers pressed hard against her mouth. The judge studied them in silence. He allowed the moment to grow sharp. He waited until the boy's breathing grew uneven. "You came here again," the judge said. His voice sounded steady. "You hurt people. You stole from a shop. You pushed a guard who only tried to stop you. You made a choice that placed you in this room once more." The boy did not speak. He stared at the floor. A faint tremble moved through his hands. The judge leaned forward. "Tell me something. When you entered that store, what ran through your mind? Did you think about the people who work there? Did you think about the family that owns it? Did you think about the guard who tries to feed his children with his salary? Did you think about the fear you cause when you act without control?" The boy swallowed. "I did not think at all." "That is clear," the judge said, "but your lack of thought cost others peace. You might feel trapped now, but they felt trapped in the moment you pushed them. You took their safety away. You treated their work like nothing." The mother whispered, "He is not a bad child. He is confused." The judge looked at her. "Confusion does not give permission to harm. You keep trying to protect him from the truth. You soften the edges so he never feels the sharpness of his own actions. You say he is young. You say he will learn. You never force him to face the cost of what he does." Tears ran down her face. She wiped them with the back of her hand. "I believed he would fix himself," she said. "You believed without guiding him," the judge replied. "You saw signs. You ignored them. You covered his mistakes because you feared judgment from others. You did not want neighbors to whisper. You did not want teachers to ask questions. You wanted peace inside your home, but peace bought with silence never lasts." Her breath shook. The judge turned to the boy again. "Look at me." The boy raised his head slowly. "You wanted to feel strong," the judge said. "You followed people who pretend strength. They do not care about you. They only care about the thrill of breaking rules. You wanted to belong. You wanted to prove yourself. Instead of choosing a path that builds you, you chose one that weakens you." The boy's jaw tightened. "You are not unlucky," the judge said. "You are unprepared. You treat trouble like a game. You think every consequence will fade. You think every adult will soften. You think life will give you extra chances forever." A long silence followed. The judge continued. "This room is your warning. Not your punishment. Not your ending. A warning. If you ignore it, you will return here in worse form. With worse charges. With fewer people to defend you." The boy closed his eyes for a moment. "Tell me," the judge said, "what do you see when you imagine your future? Do you see a stable home, a job, safety? Or do you see nights filled with fear? Friends who vanish the moment you need help? Police lights outside your door? You think these images belong to others. They do not. They come for anyone who keeps choosing recklessness." The boy pressed his lips together. His breath grew loud. "You thought you controlled your life," the judge said. "Yet every choice you made dragged you closer to a life you claimed to fear." The mother leaned forward. "Please give him time. He can change." "Change begins when reality becomes clear," the judge replied. "He is not a child who stole candy. He committed acts that harmed people who did nothing to him." His eyes returned to the boy. "You created this moment. Own it." The boy whispered, "I did not expect it to go this far." "That is the problem," the judge said. "You never expect the next step, but it always comes." He paused. The room stayed silent. Even the guard stood still. "You are capable," the judge said, "but you hide behind excuses. You say you have no guidance. You say you have no support. Yet you had a mother who defended you even when it hurt her. You had teachers who gave you chances. You had neighbors who warned you. You acted like you stood alone. You did not. You simply refused to listen." The mother cried again, her voice cracked. "I tried!" "You tried to shield him," the judge said. "You did not try to discipline him. Discipline builds character. Protection without boundaries destroys it." Her eyes widened. The words struck her deeply. The judge tapped his fingers on the bench. "Let me explain something important. When a boy grows without structure, he seeks structure from the wrong places. The streets offer structure. Crime offers structure. Groups that use fear offer structure. If he does not learn discipline at home, he will learn it somewhere else, and those places teach with pain. The boy shifted his weight. You look scared, the judge said. Good. Fear is a signal, but fear without action is useless. You must change your path, not tomorrow, not after another mistake. Now, I want you to imagine something, the judge said. Imagine where this road leads if you continue, not in a dramatic sense, in a realistic sense. The boy lifted his chin. The courtroom listened. In 2 years, the judge said, you find yourself in a group that pushes you into worse acts. You go along because you want approval. One night something goes wrong. Someone gets hurt. It might not be you. It might be someone you barely know. But the law will not care who pulled the trigger. The law will care who stood there. The boy's eyes widened. You think you will walk away. You think people will defend you. They will not. The same people who push you into trouble will run. They will leave you alone with the aftermath. The mother covered her mouth. In 4 years, the judge said, you sit in a cell wondering how it all happened. You blame the world. You blame friends. You blame the system. But deep inside you know the truth. You made small choices that felt harmless. Each one pulled you closer to a life you never wanted. He leaned back. That is the predictable future of someone who refuses discipline. It is not a tragedy. It is a pattern. The boy looked down again. This time his expression shifted. A flicker of realization moved across his face. You still have time to stop this pattern, the judge said, but you must want the change. The mother wiped her tears again. She leaned closer to her son. Her voice trembled. Please listen. The boy shook his head slowly. I did not know it could go this far. You know now, the judge said, and knowledge without responsibility creates disaster. The judge opened a folder. He read through the reports with calm focus. When he closed it, he looked at the boy again. I will place you in a program, he said. Not an easy program, not a shelter. It will give you strict days, hard tasks, early mornings, physical work, rules that leave no room for excuses. You will wake up tired. You will go to bed tired. But you will learn structure. You will learn control. You will learn discipline. The boy's fear sharpened. How long? As long as necessary, the judge said. Your progress will decide your path. The mother's hands shook. Will I be able to see him? Yes, the judge said. But you must let him struggle. Do not interfere. Do not soften his lessons. His progress depends on discomfort. Growth comes when comfort disappears. She nodded through her tears. The judge continued. This program is not meant to break you. It is meant to rebuild you, but it will not rebuild you unless you commit. If you fight every rule, you will fail. If you blame others, you will fail. If you expect people to fix your problems for you, you will fail. The boy nodded slowly. I want you to walk into that program with clarity, the judge said. Clarity about who you are and who you refuse to be. He leaned forward again. You must understand one thing. A boy who refuses responsibility becomes a man who fears every consequence. A boy who learns responsibility becomes a man who can stand even when life hits hard. You choose which one you become. The boy's throat tightened. He took a deep breath. For the first time, he did not look away. The judge stood. The courtroom rose with him. This moment is not your end, he said. This is the moment that decides your direction. You can walk the same road and meet the same future I described, or you can take this chance and build something you can respect. The boy nodded again. His voice came out steady. I will try. Trying is not enough, the judge said. You must act. You must change your habits. You must silence the voices that lead you into trouble. You must face the discomfort that comes with discipline. Change is not kind, but it is necessary. If you want a better life, you must fight for it. The mother stepped forward and placed her hand on her son's arm. She looked at him with sadness, fear, and hope mixed together. The judge watched them. Support him, he said to the mother, but do not defend him when he is wrong. If he is to rise, let him rise by effort. If he is to stand, let him stand with his own strength. The boy closed his eyes for a moment. He breathed hard. Then he opened them again with new focus. The judge struck the gavel. The sound spread across the courtroom like a final line drawn on the ground. 2 guards approached. The boy turned to his mother. She hugged him quickly, holding him tightly for 1 second before letting go. He walked forward with the guards. He did not drag his feet. He moved with slow determination. The doors opened. He stepped into a hallway that looked bright at the far end. The judge watched the boy leave the room. He spoke softly, almost to himself. A life turns when a mind turns. The mother remained standing for a long moment. She wiped her face. She breathed deeply. She gathered her things. She walked out with quiet strength. The courtroom emptied. The lesson stayed. The shift had begun.